So if you're driving around, you're likely going to see some road construction projects, and there's an effort underway to remind you about all of those who've lost their lives in road work, construction projects. The Illinois Department of Transportation, for instance, is starting to do lighting up bridges in certain buildings across the state with more orange to kind of spread awareness about that. But to kind of help on our end here with Springfield's Morning News, if you're driving around, you might see some work projects all throughout the city. And to talk more about that, joining us here in studio is Nate Bottom. He is the director of Springfield Public Works for the city of Springfield. Nate, thanks for taking time. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Greg.
Absolutely. So let's just start with what people are going to see right now as they head into town. What are some areas where there's some construction going on? What exactly are they seeing happening, and should they avoid certain areas?
So we are starting construction. 'Tis the season. Hilltop Road, we're reconstructing that from Rochester Road to Route 29. We're going to work our way from the south to the north in order to keep access open to the residents that live in the area, and that will start this Thursday, and it should be completed in August. Chatham Road, we have an intergovernmental agreement with Leland Grove between Barberry to Old Jacksonville Road. We've completed the concrete work, and the asphalt work should begin in late April, the paving of that. So I'd avoid that area in late April, early May. Bruns Lane, we're planning on overlaying that from Jefferson to North Grand as part of our project, and we anticipate that being this summer. Stanford Avenue from 11th to Fox Bridge is closed at this time due to utility relocates. Ameren is relocating their gas main, and then we'll follow it up with CWLP relocating their water main, and then the electric will be relocated after that, and we'll plan on rebidding that project in July. So I'd avoid that area. Churchill Road Bridge, we just awarded that as well, and we're having the pre-construction meeting here shortly. That's just south of Jefferson Street. That will be going on this construction season. Should take a couple months in order to complete that. As well as we have the rail projects going on. The 5th and 6th Street underpasses are choked down to 2 to 3 lanes at a time. We will have to do 10-day full closures in order to put up the Union Pacific bridges as well. But we'll spread those out, and we try to minimize the impact by staging those, as well as the South Grand and Cook Street underpasses are underway. We're doing utility relocates and starting some of the drilled shafts in that location. So those will be choked down in each direction, and both of those will need to be shut down at separate times, and that will probably be in mid-June. One of the either Cook or South Grand, and then the other will be shut down a couple weeks later, and probably in early July.
There's a lot. There's a lot there.
There is a lot going on.
Nate, is there a place where, like, for instance, people, if they're just on their lunch break today, can kind of pull up a map and see where various projects are? I know Google Maps, for instance, has, like, traffic kind of things painted red in one area or the other. Is there a city developed map that kind of lays that out?
So we're in the process of actually developing an interactive map. We do post our maintenance program on our website. It's a static map at this time. However, our goal is to link CityWorks, our asset management system, with an interactive map, which we're in the process of developing.
Well, I know the winter months with your snowplow operations, love going and seeing kind of like the real time data, but people can still kind of see, like you said, a static map of where some of these projects are playing out. So what are some of the things that we're looking at the future? I know I saw a crane on top of that parking ramp downtown, and that thing looks like it's starting to come down. What's going on there, and what's the future for that?
Yeah, that's correct. We are demoing the 4th and Washington ramp this time. They started on the 6th floor and are working their way down in regards to demolishing that, as well as the old station house that is directly west of that portion. And we're planning on knocking it down and then seeding it or potentially paving it for the interim if they're the parking needs for the interim as they develop the downtown plan.
And that would be a property or a plot of land that would be available for some developer somewhere down the line.
That's correct. And the demo should be completed by May 31st.
We're talking with Nate Bottom. He is the Public Works Director for the city of Springfield, here with News Talk, Springfield's Morning News, and just getting an idea of some of the projects that are going on around the city. maybe some areas you need to avoid. If you're curious, you can always find more detail with the city of Springfield. But Nate, something else I wanted to talk with you about was brought up, and it seems to be kind of a regular theme, either, citizens addressing the council, talking about, their properties, or, zoning people, or regulators seeming to want to, focus on their properties versus others, and so on. But you guys get a lot of different complaints from all over the place. And one kind of bubbled to the surface last week with Alderman Sean Gregory talking about somebody having enforcement action taken against them about a basketball hoop. I just kind of, I guess, react to that, but also the long list. You guys deal with so many different complaints from alder people, from residents, from city officials. I mean, it's coming at you from all sides.
It really is. And thankfully, we have CityWorks now to manage those in the asset management side as well as the permitting, licensing, and land side. And our staff does an amazing job day in and day out. Our housing inspectors, our building inspectors, checking them out. We are trying to be as proactive as possible. We do get a lot of complaints. So when we're on our way to check out those complaints, we're also doing proactive inspections as well. And we try to prioritize and route as efficiently as possible. And our deputy director does a great job of leading the housing division so that we can basically implement those and address the issues as timely as possible. Obviously, with the basketball hoop one, I was very active. I played sports. I love seeing the kids out and playing. So we hate to cite them on that one. That one is specifically complaint driven. So that our goal is basically for them just to move it out of the way as needed and get it off of the right of way, 10 feet off of the right of way, actually per our zoning code. So that's what we do to try to address that.
But again, you guys get, I'm sure, dozens of complaints a day, if not, several dozen a week. And you also have to kind of, I'm sure, walk a fine line between hearing complaints and just kind of setting out the reality. And we also saw something like that play out last week at the Springfield City Council. It is again tonight, Springfield City Council. We'll bring you all the latest with the council roundup Wednesday mornings. Nate Bottom from Springfield Public Works, thank you so much for taking time. Let's talk again in the near future. A lot of projects and a lot of things people need to know about, all right?
Sounds great. Thanks for having me, Greg.
It is now 8 o'clock.